Okay, so everything seems to be set up correctly here. We're recording from my recording software. We're sharing screens. I have this compilation set up. This is out of the 30,000 hands. All the hands where I thought that I'm not even really sure if you could say that I played them all badly, but definitely some of these either I was playing too many tables or I just wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
Or I'm just not really sure about the spots.
Can you shut the door real quick? Hold on.
And I'm hoping to try to get through this video a little bit quickly. So if anybody's watching this on YouTube, this is Kounterfit. He has his own challenge thread in 2+2, and he's pushing into 100 NL online. Has some really sick stats at 50 NL, so he's a good player. And what we're gonna do is just kind of go through this. I'm gonna try to get pretty quick on a lot of these.
Yep.
So I see bet, and oh, this guy is an 82-0. I'm gonna full screen this as well. 82-0 over 90 hands. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous. And I bet again pretty big on the turn, and he calls. And I bet again, like, I guess I probably I should have shoved this, I think.
Yeah, you probably, yeah, I mean, he only has 778 left, so I'm, getting him in there is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really not any straights, no straights.
Yeah.
I mean 9 jack, but
well,
I suppose you could have that.
I'm thinking an 82-0 could call with even like a 10x, like a 10 king, or even a queen that had hearts by now.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I do is I bet half pot, and then he jams. And at this point, I'm thinking, like, why would he be jamming like a 10x, or is he really trying to bluff me? Like, if his flush draw broke,
Yeah.
So I decide to fold.
I think that's probably a call. I mean, you can be doing that with queen, any queen really. Plus, you already have it in there, so we only have to be winning 17% of the time about. So, I think that's a reasonable call right there.
Yeah. That's only like 380 actually remaining for me, and the pot's already $19.
Yeah, like I said, you only have to be winning about 17% of the time.
Yes, 17%. That's actually perfectly correct.
That should be definite call right there.
Yeah. Okay, I agree. I think that's either I should have shoved the turn, or I should definitely have called this. I guess I just leveled myself into folding. Like, he might just have 2 pair, something random.
Yeah, I mean, against that type of player, I'm calling it all the time.
Okay.
So,
we have a limper. This guy raises, and then a caller on the button. And I think, I squeeze this pretty big.
Yeah, I think that's probably just something we should muck. I mean, you already have 2 people.
Yeah.
You one reasonable player.
Right here.
Yeah. Plus, we're out of position. We're first to act on the flop, so I think that's just something we should just, throw pre-flop.
So you would you fold this or just call?
No, I'd fold that pre-flop.
Okay. Yeah. So that's interesting. I think I'm getting a little bit out of line here with my squeeze.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if we were in the big blind, I mean, it's I'd probably call, but no, that should be a full pre-flop.
Okay. So as played, Gohyoza calls the squeeze, and actually the fishier players are the ones that fold, which is kind of interesting. So then this happens, and I bet out a little bit. I feel like if they don't have an ace, I don't need to bet too big to get them out of the hand. and so he min raises me.
Yeah,
And
I mean that's a call.
I
mean,
can't shove. Yeah.
I mean, if you think they would fold, you could shove, but I mean, at this stake, I think way too many players are calling it. It's already a 3-bet pot, so if he has an ace, he's calling. But yeah, you can definitely call the min raise just because you have a gut shot and a flush draw.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely a call there.
Okay, so I can't really do much here except for check. And he bets 250, which is really annoying because it's like I'm pretty sure I should be calling this as well.
Yeah, because you actually should have bet there on the turn. You do have 9 outs, at least.
Oh,
so,
it's
I mean, basically the
more
only
than
thing that
that.
are beating you right now is ace 5, which you have pulled a 3-bet.
Or 3. So that's actually probably 14 outs, I would say.
Yeah. So I mean, I would probably bet 60% of the pot, maybe 63%. So
you think that
I'm always betting when I have 9 outs, at least 9 outs.
Do you think that this player is going to be min raising the flop and then folding to a turn donk?
Oh yeah, I forgot he min raised. So yeah, that's played you check. In the 250, I just call. Yeah.
Okay, actually, this might have been. I think this is a hand where. Yeah, this is actually me. I put this in here because it's proving to me that playing too many tables sometimes affects my ability to actually like read the boards and things like that. So I have the wheel. I actually hit my wheel and then I check fold. So this is just proving that I completely messed up at the river. But that's an obvious call, or a shove, I mean, on the river.
Yeah, I mean he shoved anyway, so.
Because I hit my wheel.
And you only have 327 left.
So that's a good hand to show that I was being an idiot.
I mean, considering you only had 327 left on the turn, you didn't bet the river, right?
No, well that's because it was a mistake. Like, it was probably because I was playing too many tables and I didn't even realize that I had the wheel at the time.
Yeah, I mean you could have got her in on the turn there, considering you only had 327 left. I mean, there's no sense to drag it out. So.
Or maybe, what do you think about shoving the flop after he min raises? Because I already have the flush plus the gut shot.
Yeah, I think that's probably a little too aggressive.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like I said, he called with any ace, ace queen, ace jack. He probably called.
Yeah, I mean, I have to basically be shoving against a complete bluff, like a min raise bluff in a 3-bet pot. So I don't see any reason why he would ever min raise without a strong ace. So 7-5. It goes check on the flop here.
I think probably betting there. Just half pot, see if you can take it down right there.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, basically, if he calls, then we're basically just gonna give up.
Yeah, because he could like jacks or tens or something like that. So this guy has a bet flop of 46%. So it's not, obviously I'm not going to think that he doesn't have anything just because he checks, but I think betting here, like, it's a good argument that I could have just bet and try to win the pot here. So he bets the turn, and I don't really see a reason to fold the turn bet.
It's not bad to peel one more, but I mean, I think it's probably a little loose, but.
Okay. Yeah, because he's a pretty tight player, I would say. This Ted Wu guy.
And there's no problem peeling one more, and you get lucky on the river, and you basically just don't call or anything. So
okay, I hit a 7 on the river, And he bets, and I raised to 364, and then he jams.
That's kind of a tough spot.
Yeah, isn't it? So
you don't really beat any other sevens.
Yeah.
I doubt he's gonna be in there with 3-7.
Do you think he
Yeah.
I don't even think that he would be betting the turn with a 7. He wouldn't be leading the turn with a 7 if he checks the flop.
Well, you checked through, so I mean you checked the flop, so he might be just trying to take it down, and then I don't know. I kind of think that. Yeah, that's a tough spot. I mean 5-6 maybe. Would he be there with 5-6 suited?
That's a good actually. That's a good guess on a 5-6.
Or if he might have pocket fours.
So the other pocket fours. So what is this, like $5, 8, 560?
Yeah.
Let's just say 560 divided by like 21. So that's like 26%. So this basically means that I'd have to think that he's either like bluffing a portion of that, or he's overvaluing like a kings or aces or something. But it doesn't seem to me like he's bluffing here.
No, I don't think he is.
So
then
then
I'd say he probably has 5-6 suited, or maybe pocket fours.
Yeah.
Queen 7 suited possibly.
And I'm not. Queen 7.
Well, no,
8, 7.
A 7 is probably unlikely, so it's probably 5-6 or pocket fours, maybe pocket 8s, but.
Yeah, okay, because again, his bet flop is pretty small, so even if he has a set or something like, for some reason he might have, pocket fours, 5-6. Okay. So I end up calling. I actually don't like my call at all. I think that I should pretty much always be folding there.
Yeah, considering he's really tight, so.
Yeah.
Not really tight, but he's a reasonable player.
Pocket fours. Yeah, okay, so that was, again, misplayed.
Well, in game it's kind of hard to, fold spots like that.
Yeah.
So, personally, I think the raise is fine there.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think we should probably find a fold there. But also calling his river bet wouldn't be such a bad thing either.
Yeah?
But,
okay, so if you believe that he's not bluffing, then, I was trying to think of value hands that he could be doing that with that I have beat. And because of the way that his stats and, the history, I don't see him as, the type of player that's going to spaz out with, ace-ace or something like that.
No, I don't think so. And I think he's probably betting the flop there with ace-ace as well. So, but yeah, it's probably a fold on that river.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing how that player is. If he was to, be kind of spazzy, if he was gonna, get it in with top pair, top kicker.
Yeah.
Then I can definitely see a call there, but judging by his stats
and he's also got to think that I'm not like the most retarded player either. So whenever I raise the river, I have to be representing some pretty good strength.
Yeah. And basically, you have probably the worst hand there. 7-5 suited is probably at the bottom of the range there.
I completely agree.
He'll call. He might be up against 6-7, which B2. I think I can't remember how many kickers there are. I think it's Queen 8. Yeah, I think 6-7 B2 is some. No, okay, that would have been split pot, but.
So
anything,
any 7, any set straights. There's actually quite a lot of combinations.
Yeah. That
he could have. So this 4-way pot, and this player bets, and I have a gut shot here, overs, backdoor flush. I decide to call the flop, just one call, one time, see what happens, And I don't know. I might actually think that I could have even folded this, but it's whatever. I mean, we have a 39-13 over here, so it's like if I do hit, then I feel like I could get paid off with that.
Yeah. Peeling one card if you think it's going to be multi-way isn't bad.
So they check 8-5-5-3, and I decide not to bet. I don't really feel like I need to be betting this because he is betting in 3 other players on the flop. So I don't really feel like they're going to be incredibly weak there.
No.
So I check.
No, usually they're pretty strong.
Okay, so then they bet 150 into 318. I actually completed my straight now, and so I raise a little bit, and I don't know. I feel like maybe here I could have just jammed, but I don't know. What do you think?
Being multi-way, and I mean your hand is pretty strong.
Yeah.
But it was 4 ways to begin with, so I think probably just a small raise here is fine. I think jamming is probably
overkill.
Not that great, especially if he has pocket 3s or pocket 8s,
So okay, so you actually are assigning him part of that range, even though he checks the turn.
Yeah, I mean, if he has pocket 8s, he basically has the nuts.
Yeah, of course, because I guess he could be checking that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I raise, they jam, and then again I'm kind of stuck in a kind of weird spot, and I feel like I should be folding this as well.
He's playing a little bit wider, a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah. Okay, so his bet turn is 35%, which actually makes a lot of sense if we want to assign him a boat on the turn. You wouldn't necessarily be betting it.
Yeah, I think it's probably a call right here, just because. I mean, he's playing a little bit more aggressive. He could have overpairs.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he was first in, so.
So, yeah. If he thinks that for some reason I might have like 10s or jacks here, and he has like kings or aces or queens, I guess he might shove over the top of my raise. We have to basically think that he's doing this without a boat.
And he could be playing ace-5 suited.
Okay. Ace-5 suited. True.
So I think it's probably a call here, because...
They have pocket 8s.
Yeah.
That sucks.
But, yeah, as played, it's probably a call on the river instead of raising.
So, yeah, I'm 3-betting kings here.
Probably want to...
A little higher?
Yeah, you're out of position, so you probably want to be raising a little bit bigger.
And that's an under the gun range, so they might be willing to call a bigger 3-bet.
Yeah, their hand's definitely going to be a little bit stronger, and basically you'll get it in pre-flop anyway, so definitely a little bit bigger.
I'm wondering why this is actually in my hand review. Seems like I'm crushing this guy right now. But, oh, okay, this is why. Again, I would almost never ever check this. This is a mistake. So let's just see what happens after this. Okay, so I check jam. They're only betting 68 cents on $1.85. Okay, so now I'm thinking, like, when they do this, I don't really feel like calling it, because it's like I don't want an ace to hit and I don't want a heart to come out. I think what I'm hoping is that they have a draw of some sort with this small little bet.
From my experience, those smaller bets, like third pots, are usually what those are, draws.
Yeah.
They mostly just want to get to their draw cheaply, or try to get to the river cheaply if they don't complete their draw.
Yeah.
I'll be down here in shortly.
So I decide because I messed up the flop C bet. I decide to just jam it in.
Okay.
I mean, the pot's already 250, and I can actually see them calling with a jacks or tens or something like that if they think I'm being bluffy. They call.
Yeah. No.
And okay, so they have the flush draw. They hit their flush. So I don't know. You think that my jam is was a fine play?
Well, I mean, you should have, c-bet.
Of course.
I mean, if you were to raise, I probably wouldn't jam. Maybe do like 260 or 280 right around there.
Yeah.
But possibly he might just jam it in after that. But yeah, we're basically just getting it all in right there.
Yeah, probably scaring away some portion of his value hands at least if I jam. But it is interesting that he calls me with his not jack high flush draw. So, okay. I mean, some of these hands, it's obvious that I'm just not paying attention, and I'm just, but there are some interesting spots where I think we could have a discussion about it. Okay, so this player just kind of cold calls my 3-bet on the button, and okay. Again, I feel like I should have bet that, of course. Yep. And so I check call. The 10 comes out, and I decide to lead out on the turn here. And I guess if this was like 50 or 100 NL or something like that, then sometimes checking the flop here, I guess, is okay. Some portion of the time, just to vary it up a little bit. But at 10 NL, I think that betting that flop is like 100% time standard.
Yeah.
Okay, so he calls the turn, and I mean, I don't see what else I could do other than just shove. So I shove, and they call. Well, they have quads. I don't actually know why this is in my hand review. I think that was a pretty standard hand.
Yeah, I mean, that's just typical.
Other than me missing my flop c-bet. So I'm 3-betting jacks here. Okay, what happened? Okay, so he min 4-bets me. And 29-13, 0% 3-bet so far. I mean, I don't know about you, but this might kind of scare me a little bit, like a min 4-bet. Holding jacks.
That's typically how a fish, raises.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen this a lot, but the 0% 3-bet, I mean, 56 hands isn't the biggest sample size, but it's like, I don't know if I want to be jamming jacks here. I don't know. Sometimes I think the min 4-bets always just mean like they got aces and they're just trying to build the pot a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could 5-bet to like $4 or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. Yeah, probably 5.
Okay, so you're actually you think that getting jacks in here pre-flop versus this action is pretty okay.
Well, you only have 56 hands on him, so I mean, he could be. I don't know if you remember any of the hand history or anything like that between you two, but I mean, is he going to be playing ace queen that way or ace queen?
I got no idea. I don't remember this at all.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if he's playing, ace king, ace queen that way, or pocket 9s, 8s, 10s.
Yeah.
If he's going to be playing it that way, then it's perfectly reasonable. Even then, if he has ace king, he's still ahead. But Yeah.
Queens.
Yeah. I mean, this is typical. But I mean, you could easily call that 4-bet and see what he does on the flop.
Yeah.
But I think.
Well, okay, so I guess the money probably would have gone in anyway, post flop if I called, just because if he bets, I mean I already have the Jack of Hearts here plus an overpair, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't really feel like he was going to be too weak, only because I think over 56 hands you would at least have one 3-bet, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, well, some people are, a lot of fish don't really like the 3-bet anyways. They'll only 3-bet their.
Yeah.
Their, better hands and more premium hands. So, I think just about all fish are getting ace-king in it anyways, pre-flop. So it's not bad to get it in there,
Okay, that's interesting. Well, I'm squeezing jacks here like I have aces because a lot of limpers. I think that's actually quite standard. No problem with that.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's a little big for me, but yeah. I mean, I don't see why. You have that table. Why you have that 53-5 guy? He's already folded though, hasn't he?
Yeah, 36-18. 30.
It's basically like just somebody where actual raises. Just you're basically in a 3-bet pot now.
Oh yeah,
is what it's like.
That's
so
kind of, I guess, what my intention was, is that if anybody wants to call me, then the pot's already going to be kind of big. And I didn't want a multi-way pot. Like if I raised to 70, I can completely see it being like call, and then I would be in a tricky spot if like a queen hits the board or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this player calls Plautus, I think it is, and then they check. I bet like 140, and then they freaking min raise me here pretty much. Well, a little bit more than a min raise. I really hate these spots because, of course, my heart is gonna start like freezing up, and I'm gonna be like, "Wow, they actually they have a set? Like, what am I gonna do here?" I mean, they limped pre-flop, so and the board is super dry. The first thing that I would think is that if they had a set, they wouldn't be min raising already. They would have just called and then maybe done something on the turn. I mean, what do you think?
Well, what's their range pre-flop, calling it 3-bet?
Okay, so
or not 3-bet, but they decent raise, the size of a 3-bet, normal 3-bet. So what do you think their range would be?
I think that if somebody's limping pre-flop, then their range is automatically going to be super wide, like suited connectors, like 5, 6, all the way to. Okay, well he's 18 here. I guess he could still have something like Queen Jack, Jack 10. All the pocket pairs are going to call, and so of course.
But you think he's gonna limp call with like pocket 7s, 8s, 9s?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think he's probably gonna be. My opinion, I think he's probably gonna be betting, say 8s plus. Maybe 9s at, let's say 9s is his bottom. So, basically 8s are under. He's gonna be limping.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So 9s. I think 8s and 9s is like the cutoff there, because it's not like he's 36-0. He's 36-18. So he would actually probably be raising his middle pocket pairs. Maybe 8s. I don't know, but.
Okay, so, and then, also, what else are you gonna be calling with besides pocket pairs? What's the weak ranges that he's gonna be calling?
I think all suited connectors, suited aces, something like ace 3, suited ace 5, suited. I mean, there's no 2-pair combos that he could have here, I don't think. unless he's like the type of player that plays 10-4 suited. But that's the thing, is that there's no draws here except for a wheel draw.
Yeah, that's basically about it. So by limp raising, we basically narrowed his range down to maybe. I don't think he's gonna be limping with ace 10. So probably take that out of there. He might limp call with ace or king just for just a giggle.
Yeah. Of course. They like doing that.
He also might be, one of the idiots to limp call with 10-4.
Suited connectors, so like 10x perhaps. I think 10 ace off. I can actually see them kind of like limping because other players are already limping and maybe they just don't feel like raising because there's so many players already in the pot. Like ace 10 off, maybe they're not going to get too aggressive with that pre-flop. But definitely suited connectors. And so, of course, I'm either thinking that he's got an air ball or he's got pocket fours or pocket twos.
Yeah, basically.
So
there's other combos that can be, it could be raising ace 5 suited.
Yeah, okay. So the wheel draw. Let's not call the wheel draw an air ball. I mean, because he actually does have equity there.
Yeah. Okay. So. Basically, you end up calling this, or I think.
No. Well, this is my problem: is that I jammed, which is the completely wrong thing to do. I should have at least called to keep in his air ball, his bluff range, if he wants to spew with an air ball. But I jammed because I wasn't following through the action all the way. So he calls, and he has pocket twos.
Yeah.
So I think that was very poorly played.
Yeah, I think calling the raise is probably the best.
What would you do if you call this, and then the pot's going to be like $8? What are you going to do on the turn? Like if he jams.
If he jams?
And it's like a 6 or something like that, or a 7 or 8 or something, like a brick.
I'm probably folding because I don't think he's one to get it all in with just a pair of 10s. I mean, he might be.
Yeah.
We only have 11 hands on him, but I don't think he's going to be raising all that much especially since you raised big. Pre-flop, I don't think he's one that's going to be, trying to get it all in with a pair of 10s.
Yeah. And that's probably why he min-raised this dry flop, is because he already feels like I'm strong enough to have a check raise. So that was actually really badly played by me. Yeah. So I am 18-15. I already know that his opening range is not going to be incredibly wide. Early position is 7% over 600 hands. And normally I would actually fold ace jack suited to something that's that extreme. But there's a 56-25 over here, so I feel like I should be calling this, being a little deeper as well. Not too much, but just a little bit deeper.
Right.
So it goes check, check. I decided to check this. Queen 6-6.
This is probably the best thing to do considering it's multi-way and you're up against a short stack.
A short stack who might be wanting to check shove. Or I don't think that I'm going to be folding out like jacks or 10s at this point with a flop bet. And I have no equity here on this board at all. And because the board is paired, I don't think that they're going to be folding their pocket pairs. So I mean, at this point, I decide to bet. And then yeah. Okay, so I'm getting raised. And I think this is a clear fold on this turn. Pretty.
Well, I mean,
what do you think?
You have a chance for it to be a split pot. Say if he has ace jack or ace 10 as well. Or he may or may not play a suited ace 5. I don't know if he plays his wheel aces.
Well, that's an interesting idea, but then again, his early position is 7%. I mean, I don't really know if, even if he does sometimes raise ace 5 suited from early position, I'm not really sure that he would be check raising turn here with ace 5.
He is short stack, so I mean he basically is looking to get it all in with top pair or any decent hands. If he has top pair, top kicker, he's definitely gonna want to get it in. If he has ace 10, he's definitely gonna want to get it in.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have ace 10 of clubs right now and want to be getting it in. So.
Okay, so you think that well, I jam on him.
Yeah.
And they call.
Which isn't a bad play.
And they have ace king.
Yeah. So basically, if he had ace jack or ace 10 as well, it'd be a split pot. Or even, if he did hit the 6 on the river, then it'd be a split pot. But if he was deep stacked, then I don't think folding there would be a problem. But he's not deep.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I think that was played fine.
Okay. Interesting.
Like I said, because you still have the chance for it to be a split pot.
Split pot, yeah. I guess
if he was just kind of raising, just spewing.
That's true. Because the queen's on the board.
But I mean, obviously, a 6 isn't in his range there.
And I mean, if he did flop queen ace, and he had if he had queen ace on the flop, you would think that he'd be betting it, right? Because he'd want to get his money in.
Yeah.
So it's like it's either like pocket queens, he flops a boat, or ace king for like the toppest of the range. But you make a good argument about it being a split pot as well.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, ace 10 suited is probably at the bottom of his range, right there. But like I said, you have a chance for it to be a split pot if he is at the bottom, and he could be just, like I said, he could just be spewing with maybe a queen king, or something like that. So.
Yeah, or maybe something like ace jack of clubs. I don't remember if. I don't know. I guess there are other combinations he could have. I'm isolating this player, but I don't like my isolation size. I probably just didn't calculate that very well. But we got Tony Trump over here. Last name's Trump. So I guess maybe I just wanted to kind of get the money in versus them because they got Trump in their name. But they call. And okay, what happens here? Oh, okay. He's 50-10 over 150 hands, and then he donks like $3 into 315 on a 9-7-4 flop after limping pre-flop. And at this point, I'm pretty sure I jam. And and it's 25 and L, so that was like a short stack.
I think that's probably
overkill.
Yeah, I mean, you have second pair. I mean, you do have a backdoor straight draw, but yeah, I mean, he's betting big into the flop. So I mean, we can peel one card, but I'm basically giving up after we peel that one card.
Yeah. So I mean, of course, I'm sure you've seen this as well. A lot of fish will bomb flops and just be kind of random, even with like under pairs or bottom pairs sometimes. 5-6, 6-8 suited, maybe like 8 10.
Well,
I'm blocking a lot of those, but
I don't think he's gonna jam those because look how fast he is. I mean, usually his VPI beats a PFR. I mean that shows that he's pretty passive. So
yeah.
Usually if he's like that pre-flop, then they're usually like that post-flop as well. So,
yeah.
I think you could probably. I think it'd be a reasonable fold to fold on the flop.
Okay.
I myself would probably feel one more card, and if he bets into me, then I'm just folding. I mean, just because of how passive he is.
Yeah, and he did limp pre-flop too, so he didn't show any aggression or interest in his hand pre-flop. So now whenever he bombs it, I have a tendency, this is probably a big leak of mine, but I have a tendency to believe that when fish pot it, a lot of the time, like, it kind of sets me off, it triggers me. And I begin to think that they're doing it just the way I've seen other fish do it, where they have like 4 ace or pocket 6s or some just random stuff that they want to just win the pot with on the flop because they're scared of like other cards that come out.
Yeah. Well,
so
I mean,
I think that calling this would probably be the best thing to do. And if he had something like pocket 6s or 4 ace, I don't know, I would think that maybe on the turn they wouldn't really be shoving that. They might just check.
Yeah. I mean, if they had like an underpair 5s or 6s, I don't think they're going to be jamming right there, unless they were shorter stack. Maybe if they were $8,
yeah,
maybe $7 or $8.
7 or 8,
flop.
they might just open shove.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
so Queen Jack. What do I do here? Oh, is this? Yeah. What do I do? Okay, so I decide not to squeeze it. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't really see a need to squeeze this.
No, especially since under the gun looks like a pretty decent player.
Yeah, pretty tight range, and we have a 40-16, and they're only half stacked though, which makes me think that maybe I could have just folded this pre-flop.
I think since there's 4 players or if there's 3 players ahead of you already that's in it, I just call. And plus, you already have your one big blind in, so you're kind of getting a deal.
Yeah. Oh, because I'm the big blind. Yeah, that's true. This is a standard donk spot for me. I would just make it like 220 or something like that, and just push out his ace kings and ace queens and ace jacks, and then just try to win the pot. I don't really feel like this player is gonna have the rigged for me, the one on the button here. I don't think that they're gonna have a lot of 9s or 10s at this point.
Oh, why not?
Well, okay, so their 3-bet's 9.5%, and they do have a tendency to squeeze. But okay, if they have a HUD, then they're going to see that this player has a tight opening range as well. And I never really know how many players use HUDs on maybe sports betting.
Well,
it seems like
you could easily have pocket 9s or 9-10 suited, pocket 3s. He could have 7-8 suited. I mean, it's
7. Yeah.
He's in position, and there's already a fish in the pot. So I mean, he could easily call those kind of hands.
Okay, so I feel like if I'm going to be calling any kind of a bet on this flop, which I would be because I have a straight draw, I might as well just bet it instead. I would just donk this first and get under pairs to get folded out, and like just random, like maybe an ace 8 that he might have, ace 8 suited that he might have opened with, but I really, okay, so I bet 156. That should fold out all the things that just completely missed the flop. And so he calls. The ace hits. And at this point, I'm wondering whether or not I should double barrel this, because if he has jacks or queens or kings, he's probably not going to want to continue betting or calling me if the ace hits.
Yeah.
So I think a double barrel would be really nice here.
Yeah, that's not bad.
What do you think? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, bluffing the ace is perfectly fine, unless he tends to have one, but...
Yeah. And I'm wondering how many aces is he going to have? I mean, is he really going to be opening like 9 ace if he's 25-14?
Well, I mean, yeah, ace 9 suited, possibly, I don't know.
I probably should have bet bigger here if I'm trying to rep the ace or rep 2 pair or something like that.
Yeah, if you're trying to bluff that, you want to... Like you pretty much value bet it if you did have the ace. So
475.
75% right around there. So yeah, half pot is a little light because...
Yeah, I agree.
He will call with his 10s, king 10. I don't think he probably...
Yeah, like
king 10 suited possibly.
10 jack, 10
yeah.
king.
Yeah. So if you want to bluff that, then you definitely should bet a little higher.
Okay, now I'm being raised here. And I'm pretty sure that this is a spot where I didn't really take the time to do the calculations. And
yeah, that's definitely a fold, like, in my opinion.
756 is the call price here. So 756 divided by 28 is 27% equity in the pot right now.
Yeah, and you don't have that much.
Yeah, so it's like I'd have to have like 17 or 18% to hit my straight on the river.
So I mean, that should be a clear fold right there.
Yeah, I think that he raises a little bit too big for me to call. If it was something like $8 raise or something like that, I think that should be a call because he does have like 16 remaining. But I think that this is like just over the threshold of it being a plus EV call.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's clear. To me, that's a clear fold, though.
Yeah. So I end up calling, and then of course I can't really do much other than just check fold. But do you think?
Yeah. I mean, if anything, there, it shouldn't be a call. That's probably one of the worst things to do. If anything, you should be jamming. If you still want to continue to play, you should be jamming. But definitely not calling that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my bad.
You do want to fold out. You don't want to give worse hands. You don't want to be in the position to check fold on the river, which is generally what's going to happen. You know.
Well, of course, that's true. I mean, I think that if I had like a spades, queen jack of spades, then I would be shoving over the top.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, you should just be folding there.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Okay, so
especially from a guy like that, and you know his under the gun range is pretty tight there, so.
So I flop mid pair, and this guy bets. He only has like $3 remaining, and I don't know. I feel like I could call one time, just one time.
That should be another clear fold as well.
A fold.
Yeah, I mean, pre-flop, I'd probably even fold that too, just because he's short stacked. You don't really have the implied odds to really. It's not exactly multi-way. I mean, he has.
True.
$4.
I guess I was hoping that these guys would come along if I call. But then we have a squeezer here. This Darth Ray's guy is 12% squeeze. So he might have just ruined my plan to begin with a large portion of the time if I do decide to call.
Yeah, I mean, especially since and plus, middle position guy is pretty tight. I mean, he's a 17-12, so...
Yeah, this guy right here.
Yeah.
What did he start? He started the hand out with like $5.
I think it was
$4.50
$4.50 or something like that.
Yeah, it was like 20 big blinds. Okay, well, so I hit the 7 on the turn, and I don't really see myself going anywhere now. And then grind for Vodoshka checks, and I should be betting this, of course, because he could easily have a king. And if he had a flush, I would think that he would be betting first. He would be betting into me. So I go for $8 in the 17. And then this guy calls me, ends up having a nut flush. And I'm just like, where did that come from? Like, how does he have a nut flush there when he check calls? But I guess he might think that I have a pocket threes or something like that.
No, I think probably checking that river is probably best anyways. I'm surprised you didn't 3-bet that hand, actually. But
yeah, that too, because there wasn't much. This just seemed like a super random showdown for this guy to have a nut flush. And then,
I mean, why is it super random?
Because if he's going for a nut flush, the only thing that he would be afraid of is pocket threes and pocket sevens. So why would he either not bet it himself on the river and hope that I have a 7 or a weaker flush? He could have bet first, which I think would have been totally fine. I would have done that if I was him. Or check shove.
Betting there...
maybe it was too thin.
Him betting there would be, running the risk to get raised. So, it's kind of a good play like him, especially if you are to bet, the river with a 7. He obviously knows that you are in the pot because it's multi-way. You didn't 3-bet, so you're gonna be playing suited connectors, low pocket pairs.
7-6 maybe he is afraid of.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for him to think that you have a full house, but yeah, him playing that way is, that was a pretty good play by him. But I think personally, let's see, he called the turn, so I mean it's kind of obvious that he has the flush. So if we were to bet here, I think I'd probably do it a little bit lower, just to getting value from a pair of kings or something like that.
King X is the only thing that I can hope for value from, and I agree with that. I think that I should be betting the river, but it really shouldn't have been this big, because he's not going to be shove bluffing me with a weaker king, I don't think, ever. So if I bet like $4, then I can fold to a raise quite easily. So
I probably wouldn't do $4. I'd probably do more like 6.
6.
Maybe 7.
Okay.
I mean, 650 is perfectly reasonable there.
Yeah. I mean, if he does have a King X, he's obviously not going to like this river card at all, knowing that I'm also calling the action. So that was just a really poorly played hand by me as well.
Well, I mean, it wasn't poorly played. I mean, like I said, that should have been the full pre-flop in my opinion. But,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit smaller on the river, and you can fold to a raise. But yeah, I mean that was as played. I think it was probably all right.
Yeah, I think $6 is a pretty good. How long were you planning on doing this review for? Before we continue.
I'm gonna get going here pretty shortly.
Okay. Do you think like another 2 or 3 hands, get it to like maybe 16 of 32?
Yep. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Let's do it. So it's good to know though that I picked these out of the 30,000 hands. So I guess that means that 1 out of every 1,000 hands I'm not playing as perfectly as I could be.
Right.
So it's okay. So everybody checks, and I have the straight draw plus the 8s, and I think that this is a pretty standard bet here.
Yep.
And so they call, and okay, so they're in the small blind, and they're calling this player's open. It's call, and the board pairs now, and they called my flop bet. And they don't really seem like the craziest type of player. So this turned pair, I guess, kind of bothers me a little bit.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah. So I bet a little bit smaller, actually, like 374 into $8. I don't think they're going to be raising me with pocket 9s or pocket 4s, like some kind of a 7-8 or something like that, like 7 ace. I don't think that they're going to be raising me, but I don't know. I feel like there's a few combinations that they might actually call this bet with.
Well, I mean, they're gonna be calling, you know, 6s, of course, 7-6.
5-6.
If they possibly do have an 8, they, you know, they're obviously calling with that.
Pocket 4s.
Yeah, they
pocket 3s maybe.
No, I don't. They'll fold that away. But yeah, I mean, pocket 4s they might be calling, but yeah, I think that's a reasonably sized bet.
And then they call. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that I completely butchered this river, if I remember correctly. And I bet, which I don't think that I should have done. I think that was a really, really, like, on a scale from 1 to 10, I think that was a pretty bad river bet here.
Like I said, it's not bad to bet the river, especially when you have, you know, the nut straight, or not straight, but you have, you know, these straight. Probably a little lower is probably best though.
Yeah.
Maybe another $5.50, $6, something like that.
But then, what do you think he'd be calling me with?
Hopefully, like maybe ace-6, or. But I think generally you're beat here though.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, which is why I guess if he had a boat by now, he would be checking this river, hoping that I had a straight of some sort so he could check shove over top, or if he has a stronger boat in hopes that I have a boat.
Well, I mean, he has. I think this player probably does have and probably has quite a few stats on you. From what it seems like, he. I don't know how often you bet the river, but that seems to be quite a bit. But he probably does have a full house, and with you, because I don't really see what's going to be, you know, just calling all the way once he has, you know, an 8 as well. But
exactly, which is why I feel like
betting a little lower is probably best, and just holding to a raise. Yeah.
So he jams, I fold.
Yeah, that's probably best. And
I could never call that. Like, that would be a really bad call.
yeah, I probably was best.
So 12% three better is three betting me. I have ace jack in position. And it's 4 queen queen. They bet half pot. And I decide to call on the 4 queen queen.
What's your intentions on calling?
So his bet turn is 34%. So I'm thinking that if I call this and they have complete air, like 8-7 of diamonds, because they have a shitload of hands that they could be three betting me with, that they would also like to see bet this flop with.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm thinking that I could, if I do call this one, I could probably get a free turn card as well, because their bet turn is pretty low.
So yeah, I mean, floating the flop would, is reasonable if you have intentions on just taking down the pot. Especially on that kind of board. You don't really have a heart. I prefer to do it with the ace of hearts.
Yeah. Also true.
But
so he checked. Yeah.
Even betting. I mean, like I said, even three betting 12% isn't a huge amount. I mean, that's basically what I three bet at. It's about 12%. So he does have a lot of queens, especially three betting from the small blind. He does have a lot of queens in his range.
Of course.
Queen king, ace queen, queen jack suited. Yeah. So you just gotta keep that in mind too. But yeah. So floating the flops, see if we can take it down on the turn.
So I check the turn because I feel like I'm gonna be ahead of almost anything that he has by now. Like, I guess not anything. He could have like pocket fives, I guess, or pocket sevens. Probably not pocket fives. Yeah, like sevens are probably the lowest that he would three bet.
I think nines probably be the lowest that he's three betting. Because I mean, he's going to be also three betting, king jack suited, stuff like that. But I don't think he's going to be three betting any lower than nines.
Okay. So it seems like small blind and big blind are roughly around 9%. So the button and the cutoff are raising his overall a little bit higher than it probably should be. Bigger than it looks, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So the jack hits the river here. And this player, if I remember correctly, I have notes on them that they actually do get bluffies from time to time and that they're not really afraid to get bluffy. But then, okay, this is what happens. He bombs it. And I'm thinking that they may be trying to steal the pot because I check behind and they probably think I don't have a queen. Or they're trying to push me off a chop. Or they have complete airball and they're trying to win the pot that way. But then, of course, they could have a queen as well.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I call. I make the call.
Okay. Yeah, I mean...
What do you think about this?
That's... I mean, if he's definitely capable of bluffing. So I think it's an alright call.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a split pot. He could have, he could be betting for tens, tens, or, well, I don't think he's probably going to be betting tens, but.
Yeah, it's something that's not showdown value.
It's basically a bluff, or
an ace, which is still a bluff, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if he's betting...
Or it's such a big bet though. It's like I feel like if he should have been trying to get some value for me with like a smaller bet, but it just happens that I hit a jack on the turn or the river. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a
What do you,
setup.
what do you think he's going to be value betting here with?
Oh, I don't think he's going to be value betting anything other than a queen.
Okay. What
Like
would his
never.
What would be his value size though? His value betting size.
I think that a player like this, it could range. It could vary. He
Okay.
would be the type of player that would sometimes bet like $5 or $6, and sometimes he would just bomb it, because I mean they're not a bad player. I'd say I don't think that I would say that they're a bad player. I think that they do have a tendency to they're thinking enough to where they could maybe do this with an ace or airball.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was my interpretation of the situation.
And on this sizing, we have to be good. I can't 33%. I can't remember how much. Let me look real quick.
Oh, it was like almost 33% ish, isn't it?
Yeah, so a little under 33%. So, I mean, is he capable of bluffing 33%, or over 33% of the time here?
See, that's I honestly felt like he could be, but then I'm thinking that maybe my gut feeling here was wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, he could be also bluffing, with broken flush draws or whatever.
Exactly. I mean, I felt that as well. And it's like, the other thing is that if he thinks that I might have like pocket sixes or sevens, he might even use this river card, because then there's like the queen, queen, and the jack. And of course, I would be less likely to want to call with.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I really felt like that was a good spot for him to bluff if he wanted to bluff.
Yeah. I mean,
But he has a queen here. And I feel like a lot of times when I'm bluffing, like you'll see if you do the review of the later sessions, the bigger pots, there's a lot of spots, like 4 spots, where I really feel like I made a good bluff. And they were at the top of the range, or they just decided to call me. And just things just aren't going my way, I guess.
yeah. I mean, like I said, that right there is not a bad call.
Yeah, I don't think it is a bad call. I think
all you
it's.
have to do is, that's a. I generally wouldn't bluff the jack, but I mean, if a king game or an ace game, I'd definitely be bluffing that. But I mean, it's not bad considering we do have showdown value. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think this might just be, again, like an embarrassing hand. I'm not really sure. Yeah, okay, so I don't know why I'm in this hand. So I jam. I had king queen. Yeah, obviously, like that's just me spewing. That was a spew hand. Okay, that was like 16 hands out of 32. I really appreciate it, and
no problem.
I really, really do. I mean, this is great to have somebody else kind of double checking me. But this is just, I'm embarrassed to even show this one, because I would almost never do that.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean that would be a fold pre-flop right there, because under the gun raised, and I mean that's either a fold or a free bet. We don't want to be calling that.
Oh, so I'm actually I'm squeezing this pre-flop.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah, okay. So I'm squeezing that. I feel like that was fine. That was standard. But then this is whenever my brain just shuts off. And again, it's great to see these things happening after the session, because it could have been like one of those ridiculous like 8-hour sessions that I was doing, and maybe it was like the 8th hour and I was a little tilted, and then I make this ridiculous shove.
Yeah, I mean, it's
No.
a horrible shove, but on the flop you want to, on the pre-flop you want to bet probably a little less. I mean, basically what I do is my, it should be default 3 big blinds without a limper, and then it's basically a big blind per limper. So you probably want to be doing $1 there.
75 plus. Okay.
Another big blind would be $1. And then on the flop, you want to be betting a little bit bigger. You bet to like 270 into 3.
I think what happened was
$4.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, how much would you bet on the flop here?
I'd bet about 80%. I mean, it's multi-way, so.
So a little bigger.
Yeah.
3 something.
Yeah, I mean 325 would be fine. 330 would be fine.
Yeah.
But I'm folding to any raise there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he basically jams there. I'm just folding. It's multi-way. He limped. It's obviously it's an obvious pocket 4s.
Oh, they did limp. That's right. Yeah, these guys are limping. Like, what are they doing? They're supposed to be like.
Well, that one guy limped 11 or whatever.
Yeah.
He's the one that limped. The other guy was in the big blind. So.
Red machine here, and then.
I mean, that's just screaming pocket 4s right there.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm gonna end the video and get back to my regular playing here. So again, thank you so much, and peace out.
Yeah, take her easy.